Hey everyone, welcome back to Virtualization How To. I'm Brandon Lee, and in this video, I'm going to walk you through something that I get asked a lot, and that is how to properly run Docker on Proxmox. And I think it's one of the most common setups I see in home labs today. I'm running this type of setup, but also one of the most misunderstood. We'll talk about the right way to do it, what not to do, and the best practices to make sure that your setup is stable and it's easy to manage. So stick around and let's dive in after a word from the sponsor of today's video. And now a word about the sponsor of today's video. Today's video is sponsored by NAKIVO. Are you looking for a powerful and reliable backup solution for your home lab or enterprise environment? Look no further than NAKIVO Backup and Replication. NAKIVO is an excellent data protection software that offers comprehensive backup and recovery options and lets you use your NAS or a simple VM deployment as a backup appliance. NAKIVO supports a wide range of environments including Proxmox VE, VMware, Hyper-V, Nutanix, KVM, and EC2 instances, along with SaaS platforms like Microsoft 365. Plus, they offer a free version for up to 10 VMs, and that makes it an ideal choice for both home lab setups and enterprise backups. Let's start with the big question. Is Proxmox a good platform for running Docker containers? We all know that Proxmox has native LXC containers and support for that, but what about Docker? Absolutely it is. Proxmox is an enterprise-grade virtualization platform based on KVM, and it can run both virtual machines as well as Linux containers or LXC containers, and this makes it really flexible as an environment for running just about anything you want, including Docker. Because with Proxmox, you can use either a full virtual machine or an LXC container to host your containerized applications, and I think this opens up a wide range of possibilities with this hypervisor. Now, Docker gives you the flexibility to run all kinds of services, whether that's automation tools, CI/CD pipelines, monitoring stacks, or even things like media servers. The key benefit, I think, to Docker is the separation and ease of provisioning applications in your home lab. You can spin up a dedicated virtual machine or an LXC container just for Docker. And when you do that, that helps you to keep your environment organized, and really it prevents your containerized environment from bleeding over into your host or your Proxmox VE server host environment. And it helps also with resource management. Now, let's talk about the wrong way to do it, because I think this is where many people trip up. It can be really tempting to install Docker directly on your Proxmox host. After all, Proxmox is just Linux underneath, running Debian underneath the hood. But this is one of those cases where just because you can do it that way, it doesn't mean that you should or need to do it that way. When you install Docker on your Proxmox host, it makes several low-level changes to your system. It modifies things that can cause challenges or issues with the virtualized environment itself with Proxmox. It modifies things like network configurations, IP tables rules, and it can interfere with Proxmox bridges and virtual networks. This can cause conflicts in your networking for your virtualized environment, such as for your virtual machines and LXCs, but it also complicates other things when you think about performing updates on your host and recovering a Proxmox VE environment. Because now when you think about it, your host is now responsible natively for running both Proxmox and Docker container workloads. So if you ever needed to rebuild your Proxmox environment, you could easily lose your Docker containers and the configurations in the process. And you're going to have to really think about persistent data that those Docker containers may be connected to, if that persistent data is simply bind amounts locally on your Proxmox VE server. So what's the right way to do this? Well, the best approach is to run Docker inside a virtual machine or an LXC container that's dedicated to it. After all, we've already mentioned this. Proxmox has both options, and this keeps Docker isolated from the Proxmox host, and it gives you more control over resources. Things like backups as well are greatly simplified, and it makes disaster recovery much easier. So first of all, let's take a look at what I'm going to refer to as option one. And this is probably the most popular, and that's running Docker inside of a virtual machine. Running Docker in a VM is probably the most robust and flexible option you have to running Docker in Proxmox. You can spin up a lightweight virtual machine. You can base that on basically anything. Ubuntu server is popular, Debian, Rocky Linux, any of those distros can be great Docker servers. Inside that VM that you've installed, you're going to then install Docker and Docker Compose, and you're going to be good to go. And so Docker would then share the kernel of the virtual machine, not of your Proxmox host. So there are a few advantages here when you think about it. You get that full kernel control and compatibility with all of the Docker features, and you can also easily back up a virtual machine with Proxmox snapshots or Proxmox backup server for full data protection, or a third-party backup solution, as there are many on the market now that support Proxmox. It's also completely isolated from your Proxmox host, and so you can move or clone that virtual machine or backup to another node wherever you have that or need to have it. The trade-off there, though, is that running a full virtual machine has a little more overhead compared to running something like an LXC container. So if you go the VM route, here are a few best practices that I'll pass along on that front. Use a familiar Linux distro. Something like Debian or Ubuntu server are both very well supported. They're stable for use with Docker. And make sure to install the QEMU guest agent inside your virtual machine. And that way you're going to have better integration. You're going to be able to better monitor that virtual machine. Also use things like the VirtIO network adapters, and that's going to give you the best performance. I also recommend creating a dedicated disk for your Docker volumes inside that Linux virtual machine, so you can mount it to something like /opt or /serve so that your app data stays separate from your operating system. Then you can back up those volumes using something like rsync, Restic, Proxmox backup server, or I do something on my Docker Swarm host. I've got a Veeam Linux agent installed, and I literally grab those bind mount directories and ship those off to a NAS device. Now, option 2. I think this is also very appealing, running Docker inside of an LXC container. Now, this is a great option if you want something super lightweight. LXCs, as you know, share the Proxmox host kernel, which makes them incredibly fast and efficient, and they use fewer resources than a full virtual machine. However, there are some caveats to be aware of. Because they share the host kernel, not all Docker features will work. Sometimes you may run into challenges there, depending on the kernel modules that you want to use. You may also run into permission or compatibility issues with certain images. Now, to set this up properly, first create your LXC container using, once again, a Debian or Ubuntu template that you've downloaded in your Proxmox catalog or from the Proxmox catalog to your local server. To set this LXC container environment up properly, I suggest that you use Debian or Ubuntu templates. Just simply pull that down from the Proxmox catalog and get that installed locally on your Proxmox host. I would do the same thing that you do for the virtual machine, the full-on virtual machine. I would create a dedicated disk for that LXC that you can make sure that you can store that data in that LXC container, and you're not having to pass through a directory that is actually residing on your Proxmox host, because then you're going to get back into that situation of, you've got production data on the Proxmox VE server host itself. Now, LXCs are great for lightweight apps, things like Nginx Proxy Manager, Dozzle, or AdGuard Home. But if you start running into weird issues, if you need certain kernel compatibility flags, or you have permissions errors with LXC containers, the easiest thing to do to fix that, honestly, is just move from those LXC containers to full virtual machines, and that usually fixes those issues. Now, next, let's talk about Proxmox networking with Docker. Because this is another area where things can get messy if you're not careful, especially if you've tried to install Docker or have that installed on your Proxmox host. Both Proxmox and Docker use network bridges. So if you let Docker create its own bridges that were to overlap with Proxmox on the host, then you're going to run into those connectivity issues. And that's another reason why I definitely recommend to isolate your Docker installation inside of its own virtual machine or LXC container. And that way you avoid all of those potential conflicts with networking. And I'm going to say this with a very large disclaimer on that if you absolutely must run Docker directly on Proxmox, there are a few things that you need to remember. First and foremost, I think, is the networking side. Keep the default bridge, VMBR0 for your virtual machines and container traffic. And if you want containers to have direct access to your LAN, use Docker's Mac VLAN networking functionality or IP VLAN drivers. And I have a blog post detailing the differences in those that I'll link in the video description. You can also disable Docker's IP tables modifications by setting IP tables to false in the etc docker daemon.json file if that's interfering with the Docker bridging and the rules that are default there. Another good approach, I think, is to separate that, create a dedicated bridge in Proxmox for Docker like a VMBR1 just for that Docker networking. Then you can run Docker and bridge it to this network interface. That way you can more easily segment that off and VLAN tag it, do whatever you need to on that front. Now I've got a full Docker networking tutorial, once again, that covers bridge, Mac VLAN, and overlay networks in detail. So do have a look at that documentation that I've created there. Now let's move on to Docker storage best practices. Because storage can definitely trip people up, especially when it comes to running containers using Docker. By default, Docker stores all of its data under the /var/live/docker directory. Now that's default. var live docker. That's fine for quick testing and if you want to just stick with the defaults, but that means that your containers, your images, and volumes are all sitting on your system disk. Now we're talking about either your Proxmox VE host, which you don't need to do that, or your virtual machine, which hopefully you're using, or LXC container. So all of those can cause your system disk to run out of disk space. That grows very fast, especially if you're not diligent with cleanup on your OS disk until it's full. I think the better option here is to mount a separate disk specifically for Docker's persistent data. And you can attach a secondary virtual disk in Proxmox very easily, mount it as /opt or /serve/docker. You can even use a network share like CephFS or NFS for something like this if you've got the network for it. The benefit of doing it this way, I think, is that you can snapshot, migrate, back up your Docker data separately from your operating system. And again, eliminating that possibility of filling up a disk there. Always definitely keep your Docker housekeeping under control, and I've got some material on that as well. I'll put a link to that blog post. Now let's talk about backing up your Docker environment on Proxmox. A lot of people assume that backing up containers alone is all that you need to do. After all, that's what we're conditioned with virtual machines. But that's really not true, especially if you have bind mounts. Containers are disposable by nature. That's what makes them so great. So what matters is the data in your persistent volumes, your configurations, and those images. So if Docker is running inside a virtual machine, you can take Proxmox snapshots or backups using Proxmox backup server once again. That will capture both the operating system and your Docker data disk. You can also back up volumes separately using something like rsync, rclone, or restic to a NAS device or cloud storage. Another smart idea that I definitely am a huge advocate of is storing your Docker compose files and environment variables in a private Git repository. That becomes your blueprint for rebuilding that environment anytime. And if you use something like Portainer or Komodo, you can export your stack configurations so that you can restore those quickly if needed. I think for me, when I've thought through this, the best approach combines both VM level protection as well as volume level backups. That way, if you ever have to rebuild a virtual machine, you can restore your data, bring your containers back up with a single command, such as a simple docker compose up-d command. Now, briefly, let's also touch on monitoring, because I think that visibility is key to keeping your setup healthy and things surface that need attention. Proxmox gives you a good dashboard for basic CPU, memory, and disk metrics at the host level, but it doesn't really show what's happening inside your Docker environment. For that, you'll need additional tools, most likely, if you're like me, to get that visibility inside your Docker containers and the resource usage, all of those details and metrics that normally we like to see when we're troubleshooting or just wanting to make sure the environment's healthy. Now, if you want to stay open source, use something like cAdvisor and Node Exporter inside your Docker environment. Those tools collect metrics that you can then send to something like Prometheus and visualize that data in something like Grafana. Now, I've got a full tutorial, once again, that walks through setting this up. Now, if you want something more turnkey, check out Netdata. Netdata is a really slick solution. They also have a home lab license for very cheap for unlimited nodes for a year. And it's also a free tool that you can run for monitoring as well, both for your Proxmox host as well as Docker containers in real time. And it's one of my favorite all-in-one solutions if you just simply need to throw something out there, start getting very valuable metrics and visibility right off the get-go without any setup or configuration. Before we wrap up though, let's do a quick recap of the common mistakes to avoid when running Docker on Proxmox. Number one, don't install Docker directly on your Proxmox host. It causes network conflicts, complicates updates, makes backups a pain. Second, make sure you're using persistent storage. Otherwise, your data disappears when containers are recreated. Third, plan your backups properly. Snapshots alone aren't enough to back up and make sure your data is actually recoverable. You'll need to back up those Docker volumes and configurations too. And I'm a huge advocate, once again, for keeping your compose in a Git repository. Fourth, plan your networks to avoid overlapping bridges or IP ranges. And finally, don't skip monitoring. It's the only way to really catch resource issues before those lead to more serious issues that may even cause downtime in your environment. So to wrap up, Docker and Proxmox are an incredible combination, I think, for the home lab, especially for running containerized applications with Docker. They let you self-host apps, experiment, and learn just like in a production environment, but you have to set it up the right way to get the most out of running both. Running Docker inside a VM or LXC container keeps things clean, isolated, and reliable. And once you follow these best practices, you'll have a Docker environment that's easy to manage, recover, and monitor. Well, I'd love to know what you're using in your setup. Are you running Docker inside of virtual machines, LXCs, or directly on your Proxmox host? Let me know down in the comments why you're doing it the way you are doing and what reasons you had for selecting your self-hosting strategy. And if you found this video helpful, hit that like button, subscribe for more home lab content, and check out the full write-up on this subject on my blog at virtualizationhowto.com, which I'll have a link to once again in the description. Thanks for watching. Do stay safe out there. Keep on home labbing, and I will see you in the next video.